guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get into the drama of it all. So in this video, we will be talking about Trace Amigas no longer being amigas. Is this a scheme, or are the girls really beefing? As well as Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea been arguing since Sunday. It is now Thursday. As well as, is Eric Fuller, aka public enemy number one for a lot of Real Housewives of Potomac fans? Has he quit working at Potomac? Did he get fired? Or is this just fodder for the girls who watch Potomac? So let's get into it. We're gonna start from it ain't that deep to, girl, what are we doing and why? So first up, let's talk about Mr. Eric Fuller. So a page by the name of Beats _ podcast posted a screenshot of what it seems to be like a Facebook post from Eric Fuller. And they had this caption to say. It says, "Very interesting post today. The executive producer of #RHOA and #RHOP posted this. It seems to be that Bravo gave him the pink slip. At Jay's reality blog, at OMFG Reality TV, at Bravo TV RHOA, at I Came From Jesus 1, at Dorinda A. Deadly." And the picture is basically, it says Eric Fuller's name. It says executive producer at Truly Original. And then it says, "Hi, everyone. I'm looking for a new role and would appreciate your support. Thank you in advance for any connections, advice, or opportunities you can offer. #open to work." And then it had a link to his job preferences. Then a Twitter user actually added Eric and was like, "Is this true?" The person says, "At Eric D. Fuller, streets saying they let you go. Is it true, King?" And #RHOP, #RHOA. And he responded by saying fake news. And that is his actual page, because I clicked on it and he had pictures of himself with the ladies, with Candy, with what's her name? Wendy, Mia. I think Nneka was in one of them pictures, and then another lady was in the picture. So it's looking like it's not true. Now, the reactions to the first post where they were like, they let him go, were very mixed. Some people were excited and happy because they feel like Eric is the reason why Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac are flopping. Other people felt bad. Like, they were like, how can the network let him go? They're just listening to fans. Fans don't always have it right. And then some people were like, I don't think this is true. I'm in the middle. I didn't think it was true either, because I was like, I don't think that's the way he would move. If he really did lose his job, I feel like possibly they would put him on a different show. I don't think they would just fire him outright, but I don't work at Truly Original. Now, I will say I am one of the people that believes that he not doing his job. Now, do I want someone to lose their job? No, but I wish that production would do better. And I've told y'all that already in my last Potomac review. I feel like production is the reason why this show is failing, because they're not making moves that I feel are in the right direction of the show. I feel like they're just allowing certain people on the show, i.e. Giselle, to ruin the show. And then they pick women on the show that want to be up Giselle's and don't want to interact. So I don't feel like the show is entertaining anymore. It's like the same, like, we're just rinse, cycle, repeat. We're not getting anywhere. And I feel like that's mainly production's fault. But again, I wouldn't want anyone to lose their job, especially not in this economy with the way inflation going and people already struggling to get jobs. So if you get a job, hold on to it. But it did kind of seem funny to, like, it was kind of icky to watch people rejoice in the man losing his job. I'm not gonna lie. Although I don't think he's doing his job correctly, I don't think I would want to see somebody lose their job again. Like I said, in this economy, it's hard to get one. But let's move on to Trace Amigas, since we figured out this ain't true. So this Trace Amiga situation, like I said in the intro, I was like, I don't know if this is a scheme or the girlies are really fighting, mainly because Shannon posted a picture yesterday that they have started filming, or maybe continue to film. I was just like, this is too convenient, because Vicki and Tamra have been fighting or going back and forth on Twitter and on Instagram for the past 4 or 5 days. All of this information came out around the 6th and the 7th of this week. And so it's just kind of like, okay, it's kind of interesting that y'all are beefing before y'all have to start filming. But I'm going to err on the side that this is real. Now, what I will say is I got a lot of screenshots. Some are on Instagram, some are on Twitter. So the way to keep me from jumping back and forth, we're just going to do one social media platform at a time. So first, let's start off with Instagram, because this is where I think it started, and then it made its way on to Twitter. So shout out to this Twitter user by the name of Love Andy C. She pushed everything together. She made a nice thread, and that's where I'm getting most of my information from, so we could talk about it. So like I said, it seems like this whole situation between Tamra and Vicki started on Instagram. So people noticed that Vicki and Tamra were advertising two completely different live shows, no longer talking about Tres Amigas. And everyone was like, okay, what's going on? At first, people didn't think it was that big of a deal that Tamra was advertising her podcast with Teddy, because that's her bread and butter right now is this podcast with Tamra and with Teddy and her. So she posted her advertisement because they're also going on tour and having live shows. And in this picture, there was Cynthia and Emily were on there. So people are like, oh, I guess they're going to be the first guests. Well, then people hopped over to Vicki's page, and Vicki had posted a advertisement for her and Shannon going on tour, where she said, grab your girls and come whoop it up with us in a few weeks. Link in bio for ticks. Who's ready? And it was like Shannon and Vicki live show, and they also are having a guest. So everyone's like, wait, so the Tres Amigas is not Amiga in no more? So then this page called Bravos and Cocktails posted that Vicki and Tamra are no longer following each other and that they were devastated. So then Vicki underneath this page post said this: actually, she unfollowed me because I called her out on her loyalty. So then Tamra responded on this page in their IG comments by saying she wouldn't know loyalty if it smacked her in the face. I walked away because it was the right thing to do. I refuse to enable anyone, especially when I caught them talking horribly behind my back. They have moved on without me, so she should be happy. I'm sure you guys will kill it or each other. Just be careful of who's secretly filming the other. Hashtag loyalty is everything. So everyone's like, okay, enabling secret people filming each other without them noticing or knowing what's really going on. So then someone in the comments said, we know how conniving Tamra is. However, I don't blame her for wanting to step away from the drunken Tres Amigas show after one member gets a high profile DUI. You could tell she didn't even want to do the last round of shows, but went through with it. They can just as easily organize a new 2-member LLC, takes 10 minutes, or on a SOS website. Let's be real. So Tamra responded to this person by saying, thank you, especially when the person is lying to the world. Proof on that too. I'm not an enabler. Someone could have died. I don't want to be a part of that toxicity anymore. So Tamra then starts talking about Kelly. Now, Kelly was underneath, I guess, Vicki's page of underneath Vicki's page, underneath that comment of the promotion of her show that she has with Shannon. And what's her name? Kelly said this. She said, I would sue Tamra Rat. You guys put an LLC, had future gigs lined up. Tamra Rat is diabolical. That's why they love her at Bravo. They did you a favor not having you back. God's rejection is God's protection. Love you. See you in Mexico. Can't wait. So I was confused. I was like, when did Vicki and Kelly become friends? As well as when did Shannon and Kelly become friends? Like, I thought all three of them was beefing forever. You know what I mean? So Tamra actually responds to Kelly. She responds to Kelly with this comment in someone else's comment section where she said, here's my idea. Why doesn't Kelly take my spot? I'm sure ticket sales would go through the roof. That's right. They don't want to publicly be associated with Kelly. And I don't blame them. Kelly is crazy. And not the fun kind of crazy. So another person responds to the comment that Tamra left about why not get them, like, Kelly be a part of it. And she said this, the person said, not always the biggest Kelly fan, but she speaks the truth. And Tamra responded by saying, the truth, Shannon was calling people asking how to sue Kelly the day before they made up with her. When she found out that it would only fuel Kelly's fire, she decided being friends with Kelly again would be the easiest way to get her to stop talking about her. I got proof of that too. I got proof to back that up. Now that's loyalty. Why I backed out, you'll see soon. Find out. BTW, I never signed an LLC, hired an agent, or set up tour dates. That was all done while I was in Scotland. So Tamra is basically saying, like, I didn't want to be a part of this because I feel like we enabling Shannon. Also, Shannon's been talking very negatively about me. So why would I be loyal to her? As well as, if Kelly got so much mouth and she their new friend, why not have Kelly be a part of the show? But y'all not going to do that because y'all know Kelly is a liability. And I said, well, she not lying. She not lying. So everyone's like, okay. A lot of people started to side with Tamra because they were like, yeah, Tamra has a point. Why enable her? So then we hop over to Twitter. So I guess Tamra really did confirm that she by herself because she posted on Twitter when all of this was really bubbling where she put uno period and it was just a picture of herself. We then have this situation where her and Vicki were like, she's made this statement at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I guess it would be my time, but their time, I know California, I think it's like 4 hours. Is it 4 or 5 hours behind Central and Eastern time? Maybe. But she made this post on the 7th where she said, how am I being mean to Shannon by not enabling her? She was like, y'all are not making sense, because a lot of people feel like because Tamra pulled out of Trace Amigas, she wasn't supporting Shannon, and people feel like Tamra's being mean. So then Tamra had this to say, where a user by the name of Montana Henry said, and she put Vicki's name, took Shannon in and cared for her when she broke her arm and was at her lowest, while Tamra befriended Shannon's ex, new love interest, while liking and commenting all over posts. Come on, Tamra. So what they're talking about is, like, if you don't know, Jesus Jugs, aka Alexia, is it Alexia or Alexis? Either way, old girl who used to be on the past seasons of Real Housewives of OC, aka Jesus Jugs, because that's how I refer to her. Her and John are together. They done got together. And, her and Tamra had issues, but I guess they became friends. And also, I didn't know Shannon broke her arm, but I guess she broke her arm and Vicki nursed her back to health. And so Tamra quote tweeted this person's response by saying, yes, you're right. Vicki took Shannon in, and instead of Shannon using that time to heal, she was busy recording Vicki and her boyfriend fighting and bragging about it to me weeks later. Such an amazing friend, isn't she? So I guess that confirms what she said on Instagram, where she was like, be careful of who's recording you secretly. So she goes on to say that also the day Shannon's DUI was announced, I left for Scotland to go film #TraitorsUS. Not much I could do from there. So if you didn't know, Tamra is on the new Peacock show called Traitors. It's like a game show. She then said, also, for anyone who gives me SHIT for making up with Alexis, I made up with her at BravoCon, weeks before she even met John at The Quiet Woman, and over a month before she went public as a couple. So if you guys are going to talk SHIT, get it right. I mean, if this is the truth, I understand what Tamra is saying. But then, like I said, they've been arguing for several days, y'all. On the 10th, Tamra had posted on December 22nd, last year's December, that she's going to be on Traitors. She said, you don't want to miss 3 weeks out of the #The Traitors US. Season 2 premieres soon on January the 12th. My birthday. Yeah, Capricorn season. on at Peacock. And then Vicki went underneath it by saying, perfect show for you. And Tamra quote tweeted it saying, thank you. I'm honored to be on an Emmy-winning reality show with some of the biggest names in the industry. Sorry you didn't get the call. Better luck next time. And I said, girl, just end it there. Just end it there. So that's where we can talk. I don't know. I'm actually on Tamra's side, which is shocking because I normally do not see it for Tamra. But if it is actually true that she did not want to be a part of this show, the Trace Amigas, because she felt like it was enabling Shannon, and Tamra been calling Shannon a drunk since the season she came back, since last season. Maybe there was some truth to that. And she's like, I don't want to be a part of it. Then I don't fault her for being like, yeah, no, ma'am. But then she also it's like, even if it wasn't because of the DUI situation, if it is true that while Shannon's arm was broken, Vicki let her into her home and she was secretly recording her and sending videos of Vicki and her boyfriend fighting to Tamra and Kiki and laughing about it, then girl, that's shady that's wrong. That's shady as hell. So I could also see Tamra stepping away from Shannon by being like, yeah, girl, we supposed to be Trace Amigas. All three of us are supposed to be clicked up, and here you are doing shady business like that. But I could also see Shannon having an issue with Tamra as it pertains to her being cool with Alexis, because you know how Shannon feel about John. And now that Shannon and John aren't together and Alexis is with John, and John is actually spending coin on Alexis, when Heather dropped that tea that Shannon pays for everything, she pays for all of their trips and dates, and John was speaking negatively about Shannon's body, girl, she probably was livid when she found out that they are cool now. So we'll see. I wonder if knowing their production company, they probably gonna get everything. They probably gonna get everything as it pertains to them having a fallout, and I can't wait to see it. So let's move on to Married to Medicine. So let's talk about this Married to Medicine stuff. When I tell you Sweet Tea, aka Letitia, and Dr. Heavenly might have to run fades with each other at the reunion, because they've been arguing since Sunday. They've been arguing since Sunday, and I feel like we reaching a level where somebody gonna have to, somebody in the mouth, just a think in the mouth. And I don't want that to happen. I really don't. But we are reaching this type of level because Sweet Tea's, I guess her sister and her mama are threatening to beat Heavenly's, you know what, and it's so much going on. So let's start from the beginning. So if you watch my Real Housewives of Medicine, if you watch my Married to Medicine video, my last review, in the spicy corner I did there, I talked about the live that Heavenly, Alicia, Sweet Tea, Toya, and Phaedra were on. They were hosting a Married to Medicine live together, and what's her name? Heavenly was not a part of it. At first, it was just Alicia and Sweet Tea because they were together watching it in the same place. And then Phaedra and then Toya were watching it. Well, Heavenly was about to go to bed, or she was in bed. She had her bonnet on and her, her robe on, about to go to sleep. And they were like, she hopped on, and her energy was really directed towards Sweet Tea. I guess the people in the comments were saying that Heavenly wasn't on there, but then people were adding her and telling her, girl, they talking about you. You might want to hop on this live. So she got in, and immediately her and Sweet Tea started going back and forth. They talked about the whole grandma comment, and Heavenly was like, well, you messing with your granddaddy. Like, you married your granddaddy. Sweet Tea didn't take too kindly to that. They then started hurling insults. Then, like, your mama's in hell comes out of Sweet Tea's mouth. And Heavenly's like, my mom's dead. And Sweet Tea just sat there like, and like she kept it going. So then Heavenly was like, well, girl, I'm what you can't do. I have what you can't do, or I can do what you can't do. Basically saying I can have kids. She was like, I have 3 kids to be exact, something you trying to get. So everyone's like, oh. So then they start going back and forth. Sweet Tea says that, what's his name? that like Heavenly got like a secret grandchild we don't know about. Then Heavenly makes the comment that Dr. G is talking to Quad. So Quad is not in the country right now. I think she's actually in Africa, but she decided to make a statement about that. So let me say this. She said, traveling abroad, so I'm getting the news a little late. However, I would like to clear up a previous untrue statement made from a recent hashtag MTM live. T, your husband and I are not and will not engage in any form of contact. I am firm in my stance of not being involved or used as a pawn in anyone else's disputes as a tactic to win a petty argument. It is critical to clarify that there has been absolutely no communications between my ex-husband and me. Any suggestion to that contrary is inappropriate, unfairly diminishes the seriousness of my past experience with him. So Quad basically said, girl, leave my name out of it, because I have no parts about it. She also was telling Heavenly, keep my name out your mouth. Keep my name out your mouth. So Quad came in there to clarify in the chat that she ain't been talking to Dr. G. She don't know what y'all talking about. She don't know what Heavenly is talking about. So like I've told y'all, if you watch my review, that live was actually like almost like 10 minutes long. So they was really going back and forth. Now you could tell that Dr. Alicia was uncomfortable and kind of taken aback by Sweet Tea, because she kept clicking the icon. When you go live, you can like if you don't want people to see anything, same thing on your iPhone, like, or on your Zoom or Teams, where you can like take the camera away and the icon will pop up. She did that like several times as Heavenly and Sweet Tea were arguing and going back and forth. Mind you, I feel like Heavenly won that argument, and I stand on that, because you can't call the ladies grandmas when you sleeping with your granddaddy. And he's older than a few of them. I think Dr. Heavenly is like, let me see how old Dr. Heavenly is. Whoop. Dr. Heavenly is 53. Dr. Heavenly is 53. But what's his name? Dr. G is like 56, 57. So you can't do that. You can't tell somebody that they're grandmas, but you sleeping with your granddaddy. Like, it does like that. You already lost the argument. You already lost. Now, I said in my review, when I talked about this on my review, that I was like, well, she said the girl mama's in hell, and she stood on it. So if you stood on it, then you have to be prepared for what the rebuttal is. Now, I'm not saying Sweet Tea doesn't have a right to have an issue with Heavenly, because Heavenly has been on her neck. She has been on her neck, and she has been speaking disparagingly about her. But with that being said, you can't then retaliate and not think the person's going to come back. Like, yes, defend yourself, but be prepared for what they have to say afterwards. You telling somebody that their mama's in hell, then be prepared for them to make fun of your fertility issues. Like I tell y'all, people go to hell. Now, I'm of the belief that there is several different levels of hell. You might have started at level 2, and they decided, girl, I'm going to hop skip to level 5. And then you got some people where they start off at 1 and the other person go all the way to 9. Like, it is what it is. So does it make it right? No, it doesn't make it right. But that's how some people fight. So the whole Twitter of it all. So on the 8th, so this was so the video aired, like the whole live aired on the 7th. On the 8th, you have someone post a picture where they said Dr. Heavenly's mama, and it's the Elmo gif where Elmo's hands is up like this, and it's fire behind him. And you have Heavenly quote tweeting this saying, now this is funny, y'all have no chill, RIP mama, hashtag married to medicine. Someone quote tweets Heavenly's statement and said, I ain't gonna lie, Heavenly, you gotta whoop her ass like her mama should have done now. And they put hashtag married to medicine. And then Heavenly said, child, she said, nah, child, I'll leave that to Dr. G, hashtag married to medicine. So everybody was like, whoa, Dr. Heavenly, whoa. And everyone was like, whoa, that's a little too far, ma'am. Like, we not advocating for people to get abused by their husbands. And then Heavenly ends up saying on her live, because, you know, her and Carlos King, well, no, let me keep going with the tweets. And someone said, nah, doc, that's too Hold up, y'all. No, someone said, nah, doc, that's too far. And she said, nah, when you say my dead mother is in hell, I pretty much can say whatever I want. Now, a lot of people were agreeing with her. And then there's definitely some people who didn't agree with her. Some people felt like, okay, girl, that was too far. But other people was like, yeah, you said my mom was in hell. Yeah, I can say whatever I want to you because you wanted to take it to hell first. I said, well, okay. Okay. So things continued, but they continued over on Heavenly's channel. You know, Heavenly and Carlos King always review the show and talk about it afterwards. Well, on their live show that they did together, shout out to Bravo Shade Room, because I don't really watch their show like that. I see the clips, but they caught clips of the review, and they pretty much said this. They said, Dr. Heavenly responds to Sweet Tea. My mama got a better chance of having a baby than she do in hell. Hashtag married to med. Hashtag married to medicine. They then went on to say, post another post where they said, looks like you came to Dr. G with false pretenses. Dr. Heavenly says, we get pap smears all the time. There's no way you could tell me that in my walls of my uterus are falling out and a BITCH. I didn't know it. Now, before I say what I'm about to say, I'm going to say this. If you come across this video and you have fibroids, you have endometriosis, and you're having a hard time having a baby, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not a broken woman. It doesn't make you less than a woman. Your womanhood should not be defined if you can produce a child or not. It just shouldn't. There's a lot of other facets that make up womanhood. Well, now, with that being said, I somewhat agree with Dr. Heavenly, and I talked about this in my review. I find it really weird and kind of hard to believe that a lady in her 30s didn't know that she was having these issues, or that she didn't have fibroids, or that she didn't have endometriosis, or that the issue I'm having with this is that I'm like, did you really think you weren't going to have problems with conceiving? You're telling the doctor that you change your pad every 3 hours because you bleed through it that badly. That's an issue. Also, she has government insurance. And as someone that's an Army brat, government insurance is good insurance, y'all. It's good insurance. Like, even though she stated in that episode that she was telling her doctor about her issues, and they just basically told her she had to live with it, we do know medical racism exists. She had the ability to leave. She had the ability to find another doctor or go somewhere else. I find it hard to believe that this, now all of a sudden you know this. And in her reaction to when the doctor told her that she possibly it's going to be harder for her to have a baby, where she was crying, I feel as though it was a reenactment. It feels like Sweet Tea and Greg already knew that she was having issues conceiving, but they both decided, well, we want to be together and we'll work and try to make it through. I don't feel like this is something new. I think that's the part that's throwing people off, because some people feel like Sweet Tea lied to Dr. G because she led with, oh, I can give you what you need, with a baby emoji and the roses and a kissy face. And it's like, well, if you're going to say that, like, you're offering up your services to, like, give this man a child because you know that's what he wants, but then you can't conceive one, isn't that false advertisement? And in a sense it is, but I feel like they're reenacting a story, because their responses to this is kind of, it's weird to me. It is. It really is. So things get even worse, because yesterday Sweet Tea did a live. Now, I only saw clips of the live. I didn't see the whole entire thing. I did listen to it on Giving You the Real Teas page, and he posted it, and I just listened to him and his commentary. And in that live, Sweet Tea made claims that supposedly or allegedly Dr. Damon has cheated on Heavenly, or is cheating on Heavenly, and that when Mariah was like, I got the receipts in that really nice looking bodysuit she had on, that she did have the receipts that Damon cheated, and that's why Heavenly was nervous or upset, because she had told Sweet Tea that Damon cheated on her. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Now, do I believe that Damon probably has cheated, or is he above cheating? No, I don't think. You can't put nothing past nobody. But what I don't believe is that Heavenly told Sweet Tea, Heavenly don't even tell us stuff about her marriage. She keeps that really close to her chest. So it kind of is kind of like, girl, did she ain't tell you that. I don't think she told you that. Like, it's not making sense. And somebody even pointed that out. Let me see if I can find that comment, y'all. It was so much going on. Someone said, they said this on his page, and I won't put their name out there because I don't know if they would like that. They said, yeah, they bullied her, but Sweet Tea, you mixed up your tea. You said she told you he cheated. Then you said you got the information from her being scared of Mariah's tea. So then she didn't tell you, you're assuming. Now, I'm not saying she's wrong, but be very careful spreading information on an assumption. Plus, I just think that the problem with Sweet Tea might watch the show, but she wasn't fully ready for it. And I agree with this person's comment. I agree with this person's comment because when I listened to the live, I feel like she was fumbling over her words. And I'm just kind of like, girl, like this, you telling people, because in that live, she said, keep my husband's name out your mouth. You're telling people to keep your husband's name out your mouth, but you bringing up somebody else's relationship. You could have just said, keep my husband's name out your mouth, or I'm going to start talking about your husband. But you didn't. You already led with that. So I was like, you might be, you putting yourself in a bad predicament. She then also made a statement where Sweet Tea said that Carlos King is irrelevant and he should tend to his own shows that she heard is struggling over there. Now, we know them own shows ain't doing great. We do. So I was like, she ain't lied. She ain't lied. But I think, like I said, she's not playing the reality TV game correctly, because then this morning Heavenly responded back to her and said, #Sweet Tea, please monetize your social media accounts at the Carlos King _ and I are about to make you famous. Dr. Heavenly University, #married to medicine, #team daddy. And I think this is to let Sweet Tea know, girl, they about to ramp it up. They are about to ramp it up. And Sweet Tea strikes me as a person that if she can't handle a verbal confrontation, she gonna throw fades. And I feel like they gonna be having they might have to throw hands at this reunion, because even though I don't agree with everything Carlos King puts out there, I have listened to some of his commentary, and like I told y'all, I do enjoy some of his commentary. I feel as though his platform is huge and so is Heavenly, and it's like you're going up against these people with already large platforms. You need to be ready. And like that comment I read, the person says, I think Sweet Tea watched the show but didn't grasp an understanding of what the show entailed, because you are arguing like I said, like a 20-year-old. You're arguing like a 20-year-old girl, like, and you're in your 30s and you're on a show with people who are like several decades older than you that don't argue that way. So you are always going to look like you doing too much. And the people amping you up are going to get you caught up, because I really do feel like Heavily going to start tearing you up. She are like, at first I felt like it was kind of even. You told her the lady mama is in hell. She said like, girl, you can't have a baby. Now that DV thing was disrespectful. That was wrong. But now I feel like it's about to get real. You about to get really flamed up, because now you doing lives and you're talking negatively. You saying that lady husband cheating, and it's like, do you got proof? I don't know, y'all. I feel like it's about to get worse. Oh, I feel like it's about to get worse. And I'm wondering what her response is going to be to all of this, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got to talk about. That is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and please hop down in them comments below. Deuces.